Hello all, it's Renee B for me, and for those of you that are returning as well as those of you that are watching for the first time, today's video is a Microlocs video. And I am excited to say that today is officially my 1-month lockiversary. I was locked on June 30th, 2025, and today is July 30th, 2025. I have 400 locks that were originally installed this past June, and over the last month I have provided updates throughout, and so you should know exactly what's going on. I wanted to jump in this morning because I'm on my way to get my first retie and wash. I have not washed my hair in the first 4 weeks per my Loctician's instructions. She did allow me to mist with water once a week, twice if necessary, but I only did once a week. So misting once a week and placing oil, which she provided to lock in the moisture from the 1 day of misting. I did that throughout the 4 weeks. I did somewhat braid and band, which I will ask her about when I'm there. I could not get the braids loose because you can't take a comb and comb out the ends. I know that it's just me, so I began to twist and band, and I don't know if that's sufficient. I will ask Sunnie when I get there today. I do want to give a chance for you guys to see my hair right before I go and get it retied. So you can see I just took my bonnet off, and you can see very much so I have a lot of unraveling right around the perimeter and around the nape. I also have those little balls on the ends of my locks, which are kind of like loose hairs that are getting stuck. And you see lots and lots of frizz all over, especially my gray hair. So you guys pay attention to that. All of this is unraveled. As you can see, there is not a lock there. And it is all very, very frizzy. Again, I'm okay with the frizziness. I don't love it. I haven't loved my hair in over a week, but I am going to get it tightened up today, so I am excited about that. I have been wearing my hair with just these rubber headbands, and on some days I've been wearing a middle part, some days I've been wearing a side part, and I'm very pleased with both. But most pleased I have been with being able to just sit this headband on it, comb it out a little bit or finger it out a little bit, and then wear it this way. And then I'll let you see the back and what it looks like. You can still see my grid down in there, but it's so frizzy that you really can't. I also have some unraveling in the head right in this section. You will see, if I can find one, where it is completely, no, those are 2 locks, where it is completely unraveled. I do pull some of it out on another video and show it to you. And so if I can't find it today, go back to, I believe, my week 2 update. And I actually was able to pull out one that was very much so unraveled. Many other problems, I've discussed them in all of my videos, but I do still love my locks. I am still happy that I'm on this journey and looking forward to how it's gonna look after I spend time with Sunnie today. I'll be back momentarily to show you what happened as much as I can at the Retie appointment, and certainly some after, as well as responding to the questions I had for Sunnie. In other words, I will tell you what Sunnie's response to my questions were, just because if I have these questions, perhaps you do as well. I'm back. Okay, I am back from getting my first retie, and I have so much to share. I certainly will get close and allow you to see my grid and how the hair looks a little bit closer at the end of the video, or towards the end of the video. I have decided that the questions and answers that I got from Sunnie, I'm going to put those in a separate video. So watch for the Q&A with Sunnie Styles, because she gave me some really good information that I think is important for all of us that are beginning this lock journey. I will say this. The first thing I said to her when I walked in was that I am concerned about the unraveling of my locks, and the fact that it looked so frizzy so early in the process of getting locked. I recognize, and I have seen in numerous videos and on numerous Facebook posts, that frizziness is a part of the process. However, I was only a matter of weeks into the process, and the frizz that I had was so overwhelming. And I just felt like it was too much. And you all can see and hear that in my other videos. And she initially looked at it and said, yeah, you know, it's not as bad as you think it is. And I said, really? And she said, yeah. So she's the expert. And I said, okay. We went in to wash right away. She washed my hair with a cleansing shampoo and a shampoo that contained peppermint oil. So it was a cleansing shampoo and peppermint oil. So it was 2 washes. And I'm going to insert the video so that you can see as much of the wash process as the video is able to show. Washing, she dried it with a basic towel. And then she began going through, starting at the back. And she immediately said, it's more than I thought it was. I'm not surprised to hear her say that, you guys. And in fact, I have been anticipating that the entire time. As she began to retwist the back 2 rows that had completely unraveled, she saw that it was going to be truly an ordeal. My appointment was at 11:30 this morning, and I was finished right before 3:30. So I just made it within the 4-hour window that would cause me to have to pay more. With Sunnie, she's very reputable, and I don't think she would have charged me more regardless, because this was my very first retie, and clearly there was something else at play. And I'm going to get there and talk about that. So as she was retwisting and interlocking the locks, she realized that it was going to take longer than she originally anticipated and that I anticipated. And so she began to contact her other clients and ask if she could move them back in the day. And I think that at least one wanted to move it to the next day, which is her day off. And I give Sunnie so much credit for being willing to move her clients to her day off so that she can provide the service that they deserve. She ended up moving the very next client after me to Thursday, tomorrow. And then she said, I might as well move the others as well, because even though it's my day off, I'm going to be here anyway. And so that's what she proceeded to do. And each one of those customers, clients, were willing to move over to Thursday, which is a blessing that they were even able to go on Thursday instead of the planned for and scheduled Wednesday. And so then she continued to go through. And as we discussed what was going on, we found a few different things. Some of it will come up in the Q&A session that I will post later. But some of it that's not in that Q&A session is the fact that I am perimenopausal. I'm 55 years old, and unlike most people, I did not go through menopause in my mid to late 40s. I am going through menopause even as we speak, and I had multiple hot flashes while she was working on my hair. And I would say to her, is one coming? And she would say, I feel your scalp. I can feel the liquid. I can tell that you are having a moment. I was particularly having a moment this week because one, I just had a cycle. So I am very hormonal right now. But in addition to that, I had a smoothie drink on my way there. That sugar alone would have set it off. And then I ate peaches. I had peaches to sustain me while she was working. And after I would eat the peach, I would have one. The peaches aren't even that sweet. I mean, it was a white peach, and so it was not super sweet. But yet and still at this point, because I just had a cycle, I'm still in that very hormonal stage where even a peach would set it off. Now, honestly, you guys, I am not always that way. I don't always have lots of hot flashes, but there are periods when my hormones are off and I will have the hot flashes. So I am sweating in my head because of that. In addition, the summer has been really hot, as I mentioned, and almost whenever I am outside, I am sweating. And in fact, I'm sweating even right now in my head because I just came in from walking my Shih Tzu, Bella, for her 5 o'clock poop walk. I might as well have done it before I began recording. I've been gone a good portion of the day and I knew she would need to go out anyway. So while I was out walking her, I began to sweat just because it's hot outside. I did explain to her, and that's on the other video, so I'll just mention it briefly about the braiding and banding and cutting the grass, but I'll come back to that. And so therefore, because I am sweating in my head, there is not a whole lot that can be done about it. I think that if she had it her way, I would braid and band all the time. But I was very honest with her and told her, if I'm going out to Kennywood, which is our local amusement park, or going out to Picklesburg, which is in Pittsburgh, they have a big pickle festival, which I went to a couple of weekends ago, or even one of the festivals or outdoor concerts during the summer, I am not wearing a satin scarf, which is what she really wants me to do. She said if you could wear like some sort of satin scarf, even my satin bandana that I have, that it would absorb some of the moisture. And I was just very, very frank with her. And I said, you know, I'm a rule follower, and I will try to do whatever it is that you ask me to do to help aid in this process. But I'm virtually certain that I am not going out with a satin scarf on. I'm just not going to do it. I said, and so I just need to be honest with you about that. And she said, okay. The other thing that she said was, since my scalp is producing so much of its own moisture, that she does not want me even misting my hair with water or using the oil that I was given from the beginning. She said that she wants me to go 2 weeks without it if I can, and let her know how it's going. In other words, if it gets super, super dry and I just feel like I have to use the water, then to let her know. And I'll do just that. I'll do just that. At this point in time, I really don't feel the need to mist it. And we'll see how it goes in a couple of weeks, especially if it's going to help me move forward in this process, because she had to redo pretty much every lock. And so I feel like I'm at day one, like I've started over in the process, and I'm not 30 days in, I'm like on day one. And I know that that's not the case. I know that that's a little extreme, because even looking at my hair, it does not look like day one installation. But certainly she had to redo pretty much every lock in my head, and in addition to interlocking them, to retie them. So those were things that we discussed. Also, that something else that didn't come up in the Q&A portion of the video is that she braided down further. And let me explain that. Apparently, and I was not aware of this, she started my locks with braids and finished them with twists. And I have seen that on other videos, and you know, I've heard people talk about the braid looks one way and then the twist begins to look a different way. And I've seen some negative videos about having the dual in your hair. I couldn't tell the difference, you guys. So quite frankly, I think for me, it's a non-issue, at least at this early stage. It's not as if my locks are starting to form and there's some sort of inequity, like the top is thin and the bottom is thick. It's nothing like that at this point. But what she ended up saying is that because the texture of my hair is so soft, and it is, I do have, it's a family trait, a very soft texture, that we probably should have started them with braids altogether. That when she put the tester locks in, they both formed and they both held, but ultimately, especially with me sweating and whatnot, we probably should have started with braids. And so again, I was not aware, but part of each lock was started with a braid anyway. So it was braided and then it was twisted. And so what she did today is that as she was redoing them, she braided them further down, and she called it an extended braid twist, an extended braid twist. And so she braided further down and then twisted so that I would still have the fullness that you get when you start your locks with twists, but yet and still with a firmer foundation of the braid to try to cause it to hold. And so that's what we're hopeful for, is that it will hold. And certainly I will be in touch with her to let her know. She said that we probably need to move my appointment up to 3 weeks, but we're still, yeah, in fact, it is. It's going to be 3 weeks this next time so that she can get a chance to fix it without having an, 4-hour day to retie because of the slippage and the unraveling. But what she also said is that if in 3 weeks it's holding, to let her know and we can move my appointment out further. And certainly I will do that. One, because I don't want to misuse her and her time. I don't want to misuse me and my time, but also now I have to budget to pay for a retie every 3 weeks and already instead of every 4 weeks, which is already bad enough. I can't, I'm too early in the process to go 5 and 6 and 8 weeks or whatever people do. And so I had budgeted to be able to do this every 4 weeks. And now I'm going to be, at least for a short period of time, on perhaps an every 3-week rotation. If that's what it takes, you guys, for my hair to begin to lock and to hold on and be sturdy, I'm willing to do that because I absolutely love having locks. And I am looking forward to them beginning to mature, for them to grab hold and to stop slipping and unraveling. And whatever I need to do to make that happen, I will do. So there you have it. It was an interesting day with Sunnie. I got lots of questions answered, many of which are in the Q&A portion of the video. And this is what I will do. I will post the Q&A portion and then come on afterwards and just give some additional remarks of things that I may be forgetting today. I wanted to make sure that I came to you guys right away so that you would get a chance to see my hair right when I returned. I have been sweating, like I said, just a little from walking Bella, so it may be shrunken just a hair, but this is pretty much how it looked when I left the salon. And so I would tell you that you can see, and I'm going to come closer in a minute, but you can see that it's not near as frizzy. But what I am pleased about is that it does look plump. When people get that 1 month wash, how it seems to me from all of the videos that I've watched that most times the locks they swell up a little bit between that install and that first 1 month wash. I absolutely can see the swell, so to speak, even though she had to redo almost my entire head. And I am not exaggerating. But if you go back to the beginning of this video and see my hair before I went, because I did record some footage before I went so that people can see what my hair looked like before I went in to see Sunnie. You will see just how unraveled my hair really was before I went, and it was all over my head. I felt so sorry for her, and to her credit, yet again, she did not charge me a dime more. Some of you may be saying, well, she shouldn't have because it was, her own fault and how it was installed. No, we made a joint decision. She let me know that I could start with braids or twists. I chose twists, and we did not consider these other variables like perimenopausal, sweating in my head, a hot summer. We just did not take those things into consideration. And certainly those things played a large part in the unraveling. Again, I am thankful to Sunnie. And if you're in the Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh Pennsylvania area, I recommend that you reach out to Locks Lounge in Monroeville, Pennsylvania, and let Sunnie give you your traditional and your Microlocs. She is a great person and does a great job. But let me go ahead and wrap this up. I'm going to come closer and let you guys see the finished product. I'm especially noting the top, which she did put some edge control on, but you'll remember all of this was just loose hair. All of this was loose hair this morning. There were no locks in this area of my head at all. You can now see my grid again, where when I parted it for you guys this morning, you could not see any grid. Same with the back. I hope I'm in frame, you guys. I sure hope I was in frame for the back. I couldn't tell. So what I will say is, again, I am not bothered in the least. And I let Sunnie know that. I'm a very honest person. If I was concerned that I'm not going to lock, or oh my goodness, or if I was distressed at all, I would have told her, and I would be honest with you all too. I got this gray hair, you guys, and part of the reason we're documenting this journey is so that I can talk about this gray hair and let you guys see this gray hair. And assuredly, in addition to the fact that my hair is super soft, this gray hair played a part in it as well. It just looks frizzy. It's not very easy to contain or control, and it just is what it is. So allow me to say this. That is all for today. Hit the like, hit the share. Please subscribe. You guys know I'm just getting started, and I'm trying to learn how to do these videos and to bring you all this content so that you can learn along with me as we walk through this starter lock journey. And as always, remember that Renee B is just for me.